Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Live with Sawgrass. I'm Jimmy Lamb. I'll be your host today, and I'm flying solo. So, as many of you have heard, Megan has left us to pursue her lifelong dream of being a Disney princess. That means I'm here all by myself. And if you weren't here last week, you missed her second live stream, and that was to put a cake in my face. So there'll be no cake today. But in reality, Megan's husband has gotten a new job and they had to transfer. So she did have to move because she thought it would be a good thing to maybe join him since he was moving. So we do wish her the best, and we're all going to miss her. In honor of her not being here with me today, I've changed my starting screen, and there you go. I've taken over the position of her picture that you normally see on everything that we do here, okay? So there, I just decided to kind of railroad and ride over her, and it's my show today. And she could be watching and listening and actually chiming in the background. Don't listen to her, okay? It's my show today. So, Alex, are we in my PowerPoint? Good. Just wanted to make sure, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off with a few slides about some information on the pet market, and that's what our focus is, the pet market, okay? We're going to talk about some of the possibilities there. We're going to look at some products that you can make, some images, and then I'm going to make you a special dog t-shirt with a Halloween theme and a twist. You're just going to have to wait for the twist. So let's move on here. Pets. Okay, a lot of us have pets, and you know they play an important role in our lives. I always like looking up statistics, and this makes it very interesting. Did you know there's 78 million dogs in the United States? 39% of U.S. households own at least one dog, totaling 78 million. Okay, so when you add up the numbers and all, that means there's multiple dogs in a lot of houses. However, they're outdone by cats, okay, because there's 86 million cats out there, with only 33% of U.S. households owning at least one cat. So that tells you there's more cats per household than there are dogs per household, for whatever that means. But my point being is the pet marketplace is huge, okay, because the numbers tell the story. Now, pet owners spend an incredible amount of money on their animals, okay? $51 billion overall. Okay, that's a lot of money. Now that's everything. That's, you know, food and going to the vet and, you know, all that kind of stuff. 11 billion in supplies. But my favorite one, especially when we're in the Halloween season, 370 million on Halloween costumes for their pets. Now think about that one. Okay, is there a chance for you to make some money with Halloween pet costumes? Well, that's kind of sort of maybe what you're going to see in just a few minutes. So stay tuned on that. So looking a little deeper, the power of a pet. Pets are stress busters. Pets have been shown to reduce the effects of stress, okay? You know, in my case, have you ever like had a new puppy and you gotta like housebreak them? You talk about stress. They didn't relieve any of it. They caused all of it, but we'll leave it at that because later they grew up and it changed. Studies have shown reduced anxiety, depression, and blood pressure in pet owners after the pets are trained, okay? Oh, wow. Anyway, pets have more status than ever before. 81% of pet owners say pets are equal. Got that? Equal members of the family. And some of them put them in their wheel and then actually bump the children out. Kind of sad. Over 1 million dogs are listed as life insurance beneficiaries. Wow. Pets feel connection and friendship vacuums. 95% of pet owners say that their pets make them smile at least once every single day. And I am sure of that. Pets fulfill a basic human trait, which is a need to nurture. 78% of pet owners think of their animals as their children. And 77% of pet owners give birthday and holiday gifts to their pet. Remember that, okay? That is another opportunity for you, okay? Those are some big numbers there when you go back and look at how many pets there really are out there. It's just crazy, okay? So I want you to remember all that as we go. So let's talk about the profit potential. We saw some statistics, but we got all kinds of possibilities for pet products, okay? Personalized pet products, like the dog bowl there with the scary looking dog and the funky headdress there he's going. Personalized human products. Now, what the heck does that mean? Okay, those are typically, a lot of times the owners will actually make products that feature their animal, okay, on there. Pet apparel, and pet memorials. Okay, so those are your four main categories that you can go with the pet marketplace. So let's just look at a couple of quick items here. Here we see at the top we see Lucy, and that's just like a oh, what do we call that? It's the bandana. That's it, the bandana for the dog. Okay, so we have sublimatable bandanas out there. You can see there's a sublimatable dog tag. We have sublimatable leashes, collars, and then remember, a lot of pets are treated as children, so why not give them their own Christmas stocking? So you can see that there as well. So those are sort of like everyday products, except the Christmas stocking, which is more seasonal. Now we see more pet products, and it was interesting because the one at the top left there with the two dogs, and by the way, I'm from the South, so when I say dog, whatever, it comes out dog. Okay, so you guys just get used to it if you're not from the South. Anyway, so we got two dogs there. Now what's interesting is that pillow was made by sublimating a large piece of fabric that a seamstress turned into a pillow for the dogs to lie on. And they paid $150 to have that made, okay, for the dogs to lie on. A lot of dogs I know, they like to chew their pillows, okay, $150 gone, right? But we do have sublimatable pillows already pre-made out there with removable pillowcases so that you can certainly go and customize that for your pet. We have pads that they lie on. We got the treat jars. I mean, there's just so many different things that you can put in front of a pet owner that you can sublimate. So it's kind of up to you to research it and think about it, because a lot of times the pet products are ones that weren't originally maybe made to be a pet product. For example, the treat jar. That's actually a cookie jar, right? Okay, but somebody said, hey, let's put treats in there for the dog. The human pet products. So this is where people are wearing or carrying products that have an image of their pet, okay? So I decided to just get away from dogs for a minute and even cats, and so you can see over there on the far right, it's like a gerbil. And then we have the shirt with the dog that says Molly. We have another phone cover, cute image of the dog there. Christmas ornaments, you gotta have a Christmas ornament on the tree for the pet, right? And here's a little tip. Do it just like the human ones. When they're a little newborn puppy, you make their first Christmas ornament. It says my first Christmas or baby's first Christmas, and put the year. Because that way next year you need to get another one, or should I say the customer needs to get another one. So each year, put a new year on there because it makes the old ornament obsolete. So having years is good. It leads to future sales. And then we have here, while it might look like it's a tag to go on the collar with Lucy, that's actually to be able to put like onto a bracelet, so like a charm. So just some more things there. Just so many things we can do for the pet marketplace. Now, at the far end of the spectrum, we do have the pet memorials, okay? And that's to carry on the memory of the pet once the pet has passed on. And, you know, sometimes it's just a plaque or something that could be up on a mantelpiece. Many times pets are cremated and the ashes are kept by the owner. Now, one of the simplest things you can do is to take the jewelry box that Unisub makes. That's what you see here on the screen. And you can put the ashes in there, and then if you worry about the top opening and closing, whatever, just put a little screw right down through there and hold it shut. And then you have a picture, just like you can see here, of the owner with her dog on there. So it's that reminder forever, the eternal reminder of that wonderful pet. So we got a whole range and spectrum of things that we can do. And we have a lot of people we can sell it to. I mean, we can sell certainly direct to owners. You can build a store online that's just nothing but pet products. But there's also, you can resell it through other people, like veterinarian offices. You know, a lot of veterinarians are always looking for other streams of revenue, and being able to offer personalized products, especially the pet memorial products, is something that you can show into a veterinarian office. You also may be able to sell some of your products through the smaller pet stores, probably not through the chain stores, but the more mom and pop ones. So there are different possibilities for getting it out there. Look at the clubs, look at the dog clubs, and see if, again, you can go visit them, show them your products, and then start creating other products for them. Okay, so there's a lot of different ways to go with that. Now we have the pet apparel products. Yes, there are some companies out there that make like the dog sweaters and the dog shirts, and you would have to, of course, find one that you could sublimate. But today we're going to make our own, okay? And so you can see a really interesting one there that is offered by a specific company. And then you can see one over on the left that is more of just a basic looking type of shirt. Mine's going to be much more interesting than that one over there on the left. Trust me, okay? That's what we're leading up to. So yes, in case you're wondering, dogs do wear people shirts, okay? I was just showing you so-called dog shirts, but look, tucked in behind me, yes, I know, I'm the one who's taking up most of the picture there, but right behind me, you can see that there is a dog. Now that's an Iditarod sled dog team. I went to an Iditarod training camp up on top of a glacier, and we went for a run with the dogs. Well, we didn't run, they pulled us. But I found it interesting that most of the dogs, not all of them, but most of them were actually wearing human t-shirts. Happened to be Gildan was the brand, okay? I looked, I had to. They weren't necessarily decorated, but they were wearing them, and it helped with the chafing of all the harness and everything that they're wearing. So when I looked at it, I said, you know, those human shirts fit these dogs like perfect. I mean, they had to find the right size. And so, you know, when people ask me about where do you buy dog shirts, I'm like, same place you buy human shirts, okay? Just use human shirts. I'm going to prove to you just how well that works. Now, dogs do wear people shirts, as you see here, okay? But cats, not so much, okay? Here is me with bringing a cat to work day, okay? And that was a big cat, but that is in the earlier days. See, I had hair. And that is a real deal. I did take a tiger to a trade show about 15 years ago. So that was me bringing a cat to work day, right? But I didn't bring the cat here because A, HR said I couldn't, okay? And B, if you try to put a shirt on a cat, they're probably going to eat you before you get it done. So I thought it was a bad idea. Cats really don't seem to like it when we put apparel on them, even the ones that you have at home, okay? So cats, bad idea. Dogs, pretty cool, but they wouldn't let me bring a dog in either. So instead, what I brought in today was I brought in a llama. How do you like that, okay? There's something a little different you don't see every day. So I am going to make a pet shirt. Let's not call it a dog shirt. Let's call it a pet shirt for this llama. Now this llama belongs to one of my daughters, and his name is Angelo. So we're going to make a llama shirt for Angelo, okay? So we're just going to let Angelo, he doesn't stand well. He's kind of lazy. That just looks rude. We're just going to lean him up against the printer here and let him occupy some space while we get ready to decorate him. Stay, okay? Alrighty, so let's switch over to Creative Studio and get to work here. All right, so I'm going to go into Creative Studio and start creating, and the first thing I'm going to look for is dog shirts. No, I'm not, because there are no dog shirts in there. Remember, we're just doing people shirts. Now, the toughest thing about doing human shirts on animals is getting the right size, okay? I mean, their body is different from us. And look at this dude. He is chubby. Let me tell you what. He's big and fat, and he's got these short little legs. Now, I've seen little dogs like that, too. So I had to really dig around to find a shirt. I found a child's small from Vapor Apparel that fits Angelo just perfect. It just took me some time to find it, but I did, and it fits him almost perfect, and you're going to see that here in just a minute. So we're going to design for that. Now, I found while I was designing, it was actually easier just to design on an adult shirt, so I'm just going to take an adult t-shirt, and it's down here somewhere. I think it's on the second page. And we're just going to work with it as our product. So men's solar short sleeve. So this is one that I'm going to choose, and I'm going to put it on the back because I found it's the shirts actually wear better. They seem to fit better, at least with a llama, if the back is on their back and then the front is down their stomach. So this is what I'm going to use. Now, because we have coming up Halloween, I figured Halloween theme would be good, but also we've always traditionally with the family dog dressed the dog in something for Halloween. Dog hates it, okay? Kids think it's great. Dog can't wait to get rid of some silly looking costume. But you know, a lot of dogs actually do like t-shirts. I mean, they're comfortable and everything. So why not take a t-shirt with a Halloween theme and it's your dog's costume, okay, that they can wear when you go trick-or-treating, all right? So that's what we're going to do today. Now, if you haven't looked lately, we have a whole heck of a lot of designs in Creative Studio that have a Halloween theme. I mean, it is one of our top categories, is the Halloween theme. And instead of me going through endlessly looking for one to show you, okay, I went in early and did the little favorite deal. So it pops right up into my favorites, okay? So look at there. Spooky Sweet. So we're going to move that over to the shirt. And there it is. And I'm going to zoom in a little bit, make it easier to work. So we have the Spooky Sweet. And what else does it say? And looking for a treat. Okay. All right. So we got that in there. And then I wanted to add his name as well. So he's Angelo. So what I'm going to do is go down to text. And again, I have my favorites. I've really used the favorites button a lot because every time I see something I think I like, instead of having to go back and find it again, because you know there's like 5 million fonts in there, which is a good thing unless you got to research them all. I put the favorites so I can always find it very easily. And Creepster just seems to be the perfect one for Halloween. All right, so now let's change this to his name. And there we go. We got Angelo. And let's bring Angelo down below here. And what we want to do is all of a sudden I see I'm running out of space. Let me go back to the sort of unzoom. And let's just take everything. Actually, let me take Angelo out for just a second. I want to select all and just reduce the size a little bit, because that's going to give me more room before I get out of the bleed or workspace area. Okay, so we got just where I'll just make sure it's where I want it. Okay. Now I'm going to go back and put in Angela. So we'll do text, we'll do favorites, and we're going to do Creepster. So now we'll put Angelo in here. And this will give me plenty of room to move Angelo. Come on, Angelo, where did you appear? Okay, let's try this again. Angelo. Well, Angelo's not cooperating, so typical llama. Let's give me 1 second here. All right, so I was doing a little moving around there. Angelo had just kind of parked itself on top of everything else, so I was having trouble grabbing it, okay? But we got Angelo there. Now let's zoom back in so we can see the Angelo a little bit better. And with Angelo selected, what I'd like to do is, first of all, make Angelo a little bit larger. So we can do that by dragging just a little bit here. And I'm going to bring it down just a little bit. You know, I spelled Angelo wrong, didn't I? Anglio. Okay, so Angelo. Oh. My daughter's probably watching and is really mad at Daddy because he misspelled. Just so you know, the daughter's in her mid-20s, but I could still get yelled at. Okay, so now we got it spelled right. Angelo. All right, everybody, we got Angelo there. So let's go on down, and I want to change the color of Angelo. I mean, black's okay for Halloween, but it's not okay to me. I want it to kind of blend in a little bit better. So I'm going to go to fill color, and I'm going to try to match that purple that's in there for Angelo. So let's just play around, and that's pretty darn close. It's not exact. Sometimes it's a little hard to get exact, but it's pretty darn close. So now what I want to do is go ahead and put an outline on there. And outline will be black, so we're good with that. And let's take the stroke and making a little adjustment. Oops, that's a lot of adjustment. And pull it back just a little bit there. And then we make sure we have this, everything will print out in our workspace. So you can see the full workspace here. We can see everything. We can see the design. We can see Angelo. Everything there is like ready to go. So let's go ahead and print this. So I will go with print. And I will need to choose the SG-1000, which is what I'm using today. And we're going to be using tabloid. And it's polyester, TruePix Classic. It's not photographic, it's actually vivid. So we're going to go with vivid. And then we'll click print. So it's going to do all its magical stuff and figure everything out based on these little parameters. And it says it's been queued successfully. So we'll wait for the queue to come up. And there is our queue, polyester, high quality. All that stuff is good. Let me see what the actual size of it. Let's see, I want to do a preserve layout from designer. Oh, it's going to print that way. That's interesting. But that's okay, because it's about 8 inches tall, which is exactly what I need. Color, still says vivid, just like we wanted. And right here is always interesting because you can make things a little bit taller, a little bit smaller, you know, that kind of stuff in here if you need to before you go to print. But I'm good with what I got there, so I'm going to go ahead and print, and let's see what happens. Okay, Angelo is anxiously awaiting. You can see the excitement in his eyes. Look excited, okay? So he's going to look around and kind of check out what's happening down here to where things get warmed up for the printer. So, you know, he's, well, he's not that active, but he's active enough. Okay, so anyway. All right, paper is printing. And we'll see what we have. Which means I'm probably stepping out of the camera angle, but I don't care. Look, Angelo, it's almost there. Yeah, you can't make many jokes about llamas because there's not a whole lot that rhymes with them. Well, I got a paper misfeed, so let's see if we can't fix that real quick. Come on. These things only happen to me, especially when I don't have someone here to blame like Megan. Okay, so we can get this sheet out. Okay, so let's try that one more time. What I'm actually going to do is, I think they didn't like really the sizing on here, so we're going to go and set up the print again. And this time on the print, we're going to go to, again, US Tabloid. And we're on SG-1000, so we've got all that set up right, polyester. So let's print. And wait for all the little wheels to quit spinning. Okay, and over here, let's check everything out again. And what I'm going to do this time, by the way, the color, I need to change to vivid, is, okay, I believe I am ready to go. I'm going to stick with this particular layout this time, and let's see if this is going to take care of the problem. Okay, going to queue up, go to the printer. You awake, Angelo? Pay attention, okay? Gee, you're our star of the show here. All right, it's processing. And now it's making noise. Noise is good. Or at least that noise. Other noises maybe not so good always, right? All right, this is printing. I mean, what else do you do but just, to move your head when it's printing, right? Okay, so this time I got the printout right, and basically what I had done is the first time when I changed to stick with the designer, the way that it laid it this way, put it really close to the borders of the page. So I repositioned it on the page this time when I printed it, and everything came out pretty good. And just to check on Angelo's back, yeah, that looks pretty good for Angelo's back. Okay, so this is the image that we're going to print onto Angelo here in just a moment. So this is the shirt, okay? That's a tiny little thing. I tried to put it on myself earlier, but had to throw that one in the trash or to split all the seams. So what I'm going to do here is, it's pretty wrinkle-free, but I want to just kind of knock some more wrinkles out of it real quick. So I'm just going to put it under the heat press just for a couple of seconds, just to give myself a pretty clean wrinkle-free surface. Remember, you don't want to make it hot. You're just trying to get some wrinkles out, because it's never good to put a transfer onto a hot shirt, okay? All right, so that got my wrinkles out. And as always with our shirts, we should start out using a lint roller just to make sure that, oh, I rolled it the wrong direction, didn't I? Let's see. I just pulled off a sheet and just decided to be aggravating to deal with. So I'm doing the entire front of the shirt, okay? Not just where the image goes, but everything that's going to be under the heat press. So we rolled that, and we have a nice, smooth, clean surface here. I'm not actually going to use the spray. Normally I do, but this shirt is so small. It really, with laying down the paper and everything, I feel pretty comfortable doing this. So the next thing I'm going to do is I have my foam in place, and I normally cover the foam with some kind of sheet. In this case, I'm just using paper. Teflon's fine. A lot of people use Teflon on there. And then I'm going to put the shirt on here, and I'm going to start feeling with my fingers for where the edge of the foam is, because I can't quite see the foam, but I felt it turn sideways. So hang on one second while we make an adjustment. There we go. So I put the shirt down and just kind of feel for the edges of the foam, and I can clearly feel them. And so I know that everything is positioned right. I can see where the edges of the foam are with my fingers, and so I know then that where I'm going to put my paper. So I got all that laid out, and now we'll take our transfer sheet, making sure we got the top side up. And you know what? I decided earlier I wanted to do on the back of the shirt, and I was sitting here setting up the front of the shirt. So I'm just going to turn it around. And it's wrinkle-free on the back, because really when I put the heat on it before, the heat went all the way through the shirt. So the back of the shirt is already wrinkle-free. So I'm not going to reheat it again. Okay, so same deal. I put it onto the foam, and I'm finding the edges of the foam with my fingers. And I like to put this up kind of high on the back. You know, animals, and this is something, if you start doing it with animals, you'll start getting a feel for where the best placement is. But you know, every breed is probably going to be different. Actually, every individual animal is probably going to be different. Okay, I want this pretty high up on the back. So I found all my locations everywhere, like they should be. A little bit more there. And it's over the foam. Foam is good. Foam is important. And we do one more sheet, which is our top blowout sheet, to protect our heat press. All right, so here we go. I am set at 385 degrees Fahrenheit, and I'm going to go about 45 seconds on this one with almost no pressure. So just like we do with human t-shirts, because it actually is a human t-shirt, okay? We're just using it for an animal, sort of an animal, okay? So whatever. All right, so as that counts down, I'll get Angelo over here, and then we're going to dress Angelo, which is always a little interesting. The nice thing about Angelo, he doesn't squirm very much when I'm trying to dress him, you know. So he's just kind of laid back, you know, as opposed to, you know, certain dogs and cats. I can only imagine trying to dress a cat, you know, especially a big cat that I had in the cave. Mia was her name, by the way. Anyway, so here we go, and that's done. So let's take out our blowout sheet. Let's take off that sheet, and look what I did. I printed it upside down, okay? True to my name. What did I say? Print it right side up. So I printed it upside down. Oh, well, that's okay, because I have one here that I did earlier that's right side up. So rather than going and finding another shirt, because it would be very easy to reprint, I'm just going to use this one that I did print correctly. All right, this harkens back to the days of when Jimmy broke the coffee mug and the handle went flying across the room, and someone said, hey, Jimmy made a pencil holder. But this also goes back to anybody can make these mistakes. So that was my whole purpose, of course, is to point out that it's very easy to get things upside down, and you know what? I did. All right, but I want you to see the end result, because I want you to see what it looks like when we actually do pay attention to what we're doing. So I am going to put this onto our llama, and so put it down over his head, and then we work with his legs, and we'll get the first one through, and then we'll turn them over, and we'll get the second one through. Could you imagine doing this to a dog? Oh, we're going to flip them over and do this, and then flip them over and do that, until we finally get it all done, right? Like the dog's going to love that, But my whole point is I am using a stuffed animal, so I can get away with that kind of stuff. But you see, when I'm done, what I have, all right? So it says spooky, sweet, and looking for a treat. So treat's the big highlight. And then it has the name of the dog, which is actually Alfredo, not Angelo. This is a weird day, but it is spelled correctly here. Yeah, I was echoing in my head. The daughter said, it's Alfredo, Dad, so not Angelo. So anyway, that's even better that I'm not using that shirt. And my whole production staff is laughing at me. But that's okay. You can laugh at me at home too, because it's Jimmy Lamb, and we know Jimmy Lamb, if he can take a cake in his face, you can laugh at him anytime you want on anything. But I really like the way that it came out, other than it was upside down and I spelled the name wrong, but that was my fault. Okay, so that happens. So we should always have a written order form which has the proper spelling of the name and on there. So keep that part in mind. Always have the right spelling of the name somewhere in front of your face, so when you put it on the computer, you do it right. Okay, so what do you think, Angelo? You like it? Yeah, okay, good llama. Oh, okay, so there we go. A Halloween shirt for the dog with a twist, being the llama, okay? Wow. Oh, well, so we don't need to recount all the mistakes made. Just suffice it to say that everybody makes mistakes along the way, and even when you're good at this, you get distracted, and it's so easy to make a mistake. So that's what you end up with. All right, so do we have questions showing up there, Alex, or do we have anybody in the back? Did Megan maybe show in, the ghost princess? She's on, oh, so she's laughing at me. She's having fun. So hopefully Megan's been answering your questions along the way. Oh, look at all this. Jimmy doesn't even know his grand llama's name. That one's really, really good. I like that. Jimmy is a master at making it look like he makes mistakes just so he can turn around and show us all how to fix things. Thank you for that. Okay, I do appreciate that. Petition for Angelo to be the new Sawgrass spokesperson. This is good stuff here. Oh, and here's Lori. I got to read Lori. Okay, I'll agree with Jimmy on this one. Everyone messes up. Don't sweat it. Deep breath and start over. No one should stress over wasted blanks. It's in the nature of the business. And by the way, another good point is if you do like a shirt and you do get it wrong, here we go. I got one wrong, okay? If you need to try things and test things, save these, okay? Because then you can test on it. You've already botched it, okay? Test on it until you don't have any other space, and then you can toss it, okay? So that's very useful for that. I did that for First Cat. He lived 16 years. Oh, I love it. Of course, I'm repeating everything you guys have already read. But these are just great responses. And everybody listen to Lori. She has such good information. Oh, yeah, blame Megan. This stuff doesn't happen when she's around. You'd be surprised. Okay, that's one of the things I had to teach her early on is don't acknowledge your mistakes. Just keep right on going, because half the people don't even know you made it until you point it out. So, and Megan, you can confirm that. Okay, but I won't list all her mistakes. We'll leave it at that. Okay, so anyway, I appreciate all of your comments there, and I appreciate you putting up with me. And you'll see a lot more of me, okay? So better get used to it. That means everybody's going to be looking for every little thing you can find wrong with what I do. I don't care. I'm just me. That's who I am. So if we don't have any other questions, I think we might just go wrap it up for the day there. Oh, there's a Vic one. That was who said, yeah, I see. I just now saw his name. Okay. So everyone, I wish you a happy Wednesday for the rest of the day. And we'll be back next week with something different, but no cake. Okay, for everybody that's seen the cake, we're done with cakes. Okay, we're going to leave that one at that. It was fun though. It tasted good. But with that said, I'm going to say goodbye to you and see you again next week. So thanks for tuning in, everybody. Jimmy Lamb here. See you next time. Bye.